If you're thinking about having more kids, I wish I had a good opinion for you, but at least 50% of mine happened by mistake. My name is Bryce Gruber. I'm a New York City mom of 4 kids and 1 crazy husband. And it seriously takes a village, and in my case, all of Midtown Manhattan to raise our kids. It is insane, but it is my life, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Hey guys, it's Bryce. Welcome back. Today we are talking about expanding your family and should you add another child. When I met my husband, I already had 1 son. My oldest, Ben, I had him at 24. I remember sitting there in the hospital bed, holding him, going, I don't care how much money I have as long as it's enough to put food on the table for this kid. I don't care where I go as long as it's good and safe for him. And I kind of don't care what happens from here as long as we're together. And even the type of man that I dated drastically changed. I had different priorities. I just wanted a really good man. Sometimes Yosef brings me a bagel in the morning. It's supposed to be like his romantic gesture, but he just told me he gave it to his best friend today instead. No bagel for me.
He was like so grateful, you know?
Yeah. He's the best wife in town.
Yeah.
And when we met, he already saw me as a mom. And early on in dating, he said, I want to have at least 4 kids. And I remember thinking, oh, that seems like a lot. Like, yeah, we'll get there, but like, I can't imagine who has 4 kids. Obviously, we did get there. And now that I think we're sort of so far down that road, the idea of 1 or 2 more is not overwhelming. We infused a ton of love and creativity and teamwork. We have this Gruber gang thing and we're really serious about it. We all stick together, everyone's on the same side. And I really have to give my husband most of the credit for that because it's kind of his background of having a giant family that has kind of forced him to say, hey, you move as a team everywhere else you go in life. That has kind of inspired me to say, whoa, we can do that in our family and it can be a really beautiful thing. Having the first kid will change your life. And then you get to kid number 2 and you're like, I get it. I know what this is about. And maybe it's a little bit more effort and a little bit less sleep, but you can do it. You know what you're in for. But going from 2 to 3, if you're a 2-parent household, you're outnumbered. And the idea of triangulation, where like 2 of them are getting along, 2 of them are doing their thing, and then there's a 3rd one who's left out, or someone who's always kind of on the outside of the other 2, and that gets very difficult. But once you add the 4th, it's just 1 more kid at the table. It's just a few extra chicken nuggets thrown into the oven. You're already cuddling a ton of people on 1 big sofa anyway. If you've got more love in your heart, then you're ready for the 4th.
So hard to be loved so much, right?
My 2 youngest, they were total accidents. If you think you can't get pregnant on birth control, I'm here to tell you that's a lie. I had first had my daughter, I was taking the birth control pill that you take, the mini pill, so I could still breastfeed. And they don't tell you, but that pill is slightly less effective than the regular birth control pills. So next thing you know, she's only like 3.5 months old and I'm pregnant. Avi is born, he's wonderful, we're happy to have him, life is good. This time, I'm gonna get an IUD. Couple years later, I'm like, I don't know, something doesn't feel right. I think I should go to the doctor. She starts feeling around up there, and I'm like holding on to the side of the bed thing, and she walks back in the room after a few minutes, and she's like, well, congratulations, Bryce, you're pregnant again. And I'm like, no, there's a giant piece of copper metal in my cervix. I can't be pregnant. She just looked at me, you know, it is unusual, but it happens. Next thing you know, I have a little boy named David.
It's 10:30 at night and I really want to watch TV, but I can't get up and I can't get the remote because I have someone on me breastfeeding. And I just want to like watch the news or something, but I can't do it. So I've been sitting here watching the TV screensaver for more than half an hour.
I'm so lucky that Ben and like his personality and his little soul were the first thing I experienced as a parent, because I have never met a kid who is more open to having more siblings than Ben. When I married my husband, he was about 2. Immediately, he was like, can I have a sister? Can I have a brother? And I remember he was such a tiny little guy sitting there in the hospital room, dressed like Buzz Lightyear. And I said to him, why did you come in costume? And he said, point blank, like more serious than I've ever seen him, big brothers are superheroes, so I came to tell my little sister that I'm gonna protect her forever. And I wanna cry thinking of it, but like, that's been him, always. Number 3 was born when number 2 was still a very tiny baby. They're almost exactly a year apart. So she doesn't have any concept of life without Avi. She thinks that they're twins. They slept in the same bed for years because they would climb out of their cribs to get to each other. And I'm still kind of angry at the universe for making that be 2 separate pregnancies. Like, I very easily should have just done that as twins. But when David, the youngest, was born, they were so happy, except for Rivka. She came to the hospital. My mom lifted her up to look into the window and say, that's your little baby brother. She said, no, I didn't order a boy. And my mom said, no, 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 you don't choose. The universe chooses, or God chooses, and then you love whatever you bring home. Finally, she got to meet him and she was like, I want to name him Glitter. And we were like, no, his name isn't going to be Glitter. And she was like, sparkly then. So we actually named him David Zohar. Zohar in Hebrew means sparkly. So we gave her that.
Why does he dance like a zombie? Joseph, he really dances like a zombie.
I haven't had energy since 2013, so that's not too long ago, and I can remember it, and it's like really cute in the back of my head, but I can't actively feel it anymore, or my nipples. And it seriously takes a village to raise children.
Eagle, we need babysitter, come on!
One of our neighbors is our honorary uncle. His name is Eagle. And he comes over all the time to help watch the kids. It takes all of Midtown Manhattan to raise our kids.
Guys, can you take your brother out of the box? Maybe gently.
And one of the things that people don't talk about with having large families is it's easy to get a babysitter for 1 kid. It's not so bad to get one for 2 kids. For 3 kids, you have a much smaller pool of people who not only would you trust, but you can afford and think will do a good job. And by the time you get to the 4th kid, like, you're not even sure. Do you have to call a few babysitters? Do you need a nanny who has like military experience also? Like, it's a whole thing. To give you an idea of how expensive it is to raise 4 children in New York City, of all places, we signed our kids up for a school in New Jersey. Driving to New Jersey is not a convenient thing. This is my typical commute on the way to go pick up my kids from school, and it takes me about half an hour each way, which is a lot if you do it 4 times a day. New York City school for 1 child is about $40,000 to $45,000 a year. They don't give sibling discounts. So for me to have all 4 go to a decent school, very easily, I'm 160, 170 grand in the hole. So one of the ways that we afford having so many children is we sacrifice, we cut back on life luxuries.
All right. No, you can't have that. Thanks for asking.
I want to buy
Not like a sign. My husband and me don't fight over that many things that often. We fought over the minivan. I was like, I don't want to do it. That's not where my life is. This isn't why my ancestors came to this country. And he was like, no, no, no. I came to this country for the minivan. We're going to get one. And then we got the minivan, and I feel like a horrible bitch saying it, but it's great. like I can fit so many things, you know? To get around really quickly, my husband and me got a Vespa so we can zip around. Those are my sunglasses.
Oh, that's mine.
And we use it for everything. Like, I will go grocery shopping and like have my apple cider on the back of my Vespa, and people think it's ridiculous, like I'm just a mom on a Vespa, but I get where I need to go. We definitely want more kids, but obviously the universe does not go along with whatever my plans are. The babies show up when the babies show up, if that makes sense. And I think the family dynamic would change in that the older ones would be hopefully chipping in to help with diapers. And I know that's probably a lofty goal and really unrealistic, but in my head, that's where it is. Thanks for watching, you guys. Leave a comment down below, subscribe, like this video, and I can't wait to read and see and hear what you have to say about how you decide to have your next child and your family planning in general. And peace, love, and birth control.
I like that.